Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's mini missing moment. This segment is all about sharing missing persons information in hopes and efforts to raise awareness and bring these individuals home. Very often, people go missing and we don't have a ton of information to share, but it is still so important for us to try to help get as much out there as possible so we can do our parts in helping to bring them home by raising awareness. Other times, loved ones have been missing for months, years, decades, and it's important to share their missing persons information over and over and over again to hopefully reach the right people who may know something or may have the answers that can lead to reuniting the missing with their loved ones. I am Rachel, one half of Like Mother Like Murder, and on today's mini missing moment, I will be telling you about a teen who was missing for months and was just this week reunited with her family. This is Sophia Franklin. When you see something and you say something, you make a difference. That is exactly what happened at a truck stop in Nebraska. A woman trucker at a truck stop in Omaha, Nebraska, saw a man and a young pregnant girl, and she had a feeling that something was off. She said that he was older, she was younger, and there was just something that was standing out to this woman. And so she went over and struck up a conversation with the two of them. And she became very suspicious very quickly. So she went back to her truck and got on her phone to do some research, finding out that the girl that she was seeing at the truck stop was indeed missing person Sophia Franklin. So she made the very necessary phone call that led to the safe recovery of Sophia and the too long awaited arrest of Gary Day. Let's go back a little bit. Sophia Franklin had been reported missing months before. She was last seen on February 3rd at 7:48 a.m. with Gary Day leaving in his vehicle. Here's the problem, though. Actually, there's a plethora of problems we will be getting into, but here's where we will start. Sophia Franklin met Gary Day online back in April of 2024. Sophia was 16 at the time, possibly even 15, about to turn 16 because her birthday is in April. But the point is, she was underage, and Gary is 40 years old. Their online chatting turned into more than that, and the entire time, Gary Day, he knew that she was underage. Day lived in Arkansas, and Franklin lived in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. So according to the court records, it says that Sophia stated that she reached out to Gary Day and started the conversation between the two of them. He was in the middle of a divorce and a custody battle. Sophia started telling her family that she was staying with friends when she was indeed staying with Gary. They ended up leaving Wisconsin together and going to Arkansas where he lived, and that is when she said that their relationship turned physical because it was illegal in Wisconsin but not in Arkansas. During a probation checkup on Gary Day, this was the first time that the police encountered Sophia as she was trying to leave through the back of his house without being seen. But she was apprehended. That is when he was charged with interference with child custody and delinquency of a minor, and Sophia had to go back to Wisconsin, pregnant, allegedly with Day's baby. That didn't stop Day, though, from showing up in February and the two of them leaving together, knowing that he wasn't supposed to be there, and knowing that it was an abduction because she is underage and he is the adult here, although he sure isn't acting like one. Which brings me back to the probation check I just previously mentioned. Let's get into his past a little bit. He was on a 72-month probation after he was charged with first-degree child endangerment of his son. His son had a broken femur and bruising consistent with blunt force trauma by the hands of Gary Day. Real stand-up guy. All of this for him to then start seeing an underage girl, get her pregnant, get in trouble for that, and have a no contact order, and then just show up again in February and take off with her and be on the run for months. Please don't get me wrong here. It is unfortunate that it seems this child was making decisions that were not in her best interest, but it will always come back down to the fact that he was the grown-up here. He was the adult. And he is the one who ultimately was supposed to have the knowledge and the wherewithal, but it's very clear that he is a complete imbecile based on all of his actions. It was 9 weeks that pregnant Sophia was on the run with Gary Day. April 3rd is the day that they were seen at that truck stop in Nebraska, and this is the day that he was arrested and booked, and he is currently awaiting trial. Sophia was being reunited with her family, and I can only hope that she was met with open arms as well as many, many resources for this family, because this doesn't just go away. She's not just home and all of this is now in the past. She needs some direction and stability, and her family needs some guidance on how to navigate this in a healthy and helpful way. Because unless you have been in this sort of situation, you do not understand the heaviness and the hardship that can come with it. I saw an interview with Sophia's mother, Leah, and it was right after Sophia was safely recovered, after the woman at the truck stop had notified the authorities. And Leah, she is over the moon that Sophia was safe and coming home. She talks so highly about the love and the community that Sophia will be met with when she gets home. And I just hope that this is something this family is truly able to move forward from as a unit in one way or another. Based on more than just his inappropriate relationship with Sophia, Gary Day is exactly where he needs to be. As of this recording, Thursday, April 10th, Gary made an appearance in court today. He's currently facing charges in 3 different states, Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Nebraska. And he is currently being held without bond in Sarpy County. His next known court date is set for April 24th. And again, we hope that Sophia is first and foremost safe and that things begin to look up and heal however needed. Now, I want to add a couple things right here before ending the episode, but there are resources you can find to help with your children or help yourself if you're unaware of how to best navigate a parenting journey. One of those resources is The Innocent, which is all about bridging the gap between the community and law enforcement and getting the people involved. It's about getting them involved at a local level in the battle against child sex crimes. The website is theinnocent.org, and I want to share an episode of another podcast, True Crime and Headlines with Jules and Jen, who had Nate Lewis, who is the CEO and founder of The Innocent. And they talk so much about numbers and this horrific problem that is happening across our nation, as well as things to do or ways that you can help. But the number one thing that I took away from this episode was about how we can make a difference. And it was as simple as just being an active and present parent in your child's life. A parent, not a friend. We're a momcast here, and we talk a lot about parenting and motherhood and all of that. And it is hard. It is so hard for moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandpas, grandmas, children as well. But you have to be able to be a parent and do the hard things for your children, not against your children, which they won't understand until they're older probably, but you still got to do it. And I want to make it clear, I'm not saying any of this in any way of how Sophia was raised. I don't know about her home life and how she was raised. But what I do know is that this happened to her and with her, and it makes me want to share the information that could possibly help others. That episode will be in the show notes for you guys to check out, as well as the link for The Innocent. Thank you guys for listening today. We will talk to you on Tuesday for our regularly scheduled Mother Like Murder episode. If you have a loved one that is missing and would like for us to help share information on them, please email us at likemotherlikemurder.com so that we can do our part in sharing a missing persons segment in hopes and efforts to bring them home. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Like Mother Like Murder, and you can reach out or contact us on there as well. Thank you guys for listening today, and remember, even if you think you can't help or make a difference, you can. By sharing this episode, by sharing articles of those who are missing, sharing their pictures. All of these things help to raise awareness in their case and keep the momentum going to search and ultimately find the missing. Talk to you guys next week.